I Want Your Burger here, and welcome back to the Johto After Dark mini-series. First, I want to say thanks so much for joining me so far on this Pokemon Silver Nocturnal exclusive run. But if you're joining me for the first time, we've already claimed all 8 Johto League badges, with Pokemon that appear exclusively at night. Last episode, I was finally convinced that Umbreon does indeed deserve a spot on this Nocturnal lineup, so after collecting the gifted Eevee from Bill and Goldenrod, I started biking the 91-tile perimeter loop of the city to the tree line north of the Pokemon Daycare. 1 basis point in friendship accrues for the Pokemon in your party after taking approximately 256 steps. That means roughly 3 revolutions on this loop increases my party member's friendship by 1 point. And 3 loops only takes about 45 seconds, so theoretically, Eevee's happiness can be raised to the max 260 in just under 2.5 hours, which is more than enough for it to evolve into Umbreon for my night decks. I've also done my best to train up my Nocturnal Pokemon and make some comparisons to decide who's going to make the final cut. And I'm also thinking about other preparations to make before heading to the Indigo Plateau, including teaching any TMs I want to my night shifters, and snagging a few more nighttime exclusives for my complete night decks. There's going to be more on that later because I need to access Kanto first. So let's heal up and face the Elite Four. Facing Will, I realized I forgot to pull some items I've been stashing away out of the PC, but I'm confident that Eclipse, my Umbreon, is more than capable of handling his Psychic Pokemon. In fact, Umbreon's Dark typing completely negates the damage from the move Psychic, and its defenses are otherwise pretty high. And this is going to be key to obtaining a swift victory tonight. And since I forgot my stock of X accuracies and restorative items, Eclipse's special defenses will help us save some of the few items I did tote along by taking hit after hit from Jinx after being lulled to sleep. Now, if you've seen any of my monotype multiverse videos on the channel page, you might know that Jinx has historically been somewhat problematic for me, but as soon as Eclipse wakes up, it's gonna be lights out for this Jinx, thanks to Shadow Ball, courtesy of Morty. So far so good for my night shifters, but they work best together, and Dreamcatcher is fast enough to move first in most situations at level 46. And after a huge gamble, we take down Slowbro with 1 Thunder. However, Will's Exeggutor could forcibly phase my team with a move like Leech Seed, but opts to bolster its physical defense first turn, saving it from a swift hit from Wise. But Wise has also developed its special defense stat and can outlast our opponent's buff. Without X accuracy, Hypnosis is going to be a matter of luck going forward, so I'll need to assess the risk carefully to conserve my restoratives. But it's not going to be a risk I can avoid for long. Once Exeggutor faints, Will is left with his final Xatu. Eclipse has already proven himself to be a great addition to this team, so it's time to wrap up this battle with Will and heal up before I head to Koga's chamber, but before doing so, let me know in the comments below, what does your Pokemon Silver Dream Team look like, nocturnal or not? My night shifters have some distinct advantages over Koga's Poison-type Pokemon, with some access to psychic abilities, but Wise is the only Night Owl on my lineup that doesn't need to put a foe to sleep in order to inflict such damage with the move Confusion. Unfortunately, unlike my Ghosts, Wise can be badly poisoned with Toxic. So I'll leverage some of those type advantages here with Dreamcatcher to clear the landing for Wise, who should be able to one-shot Koga's bugs. And somehow I think Koga knew this, and that's why he withdrew Ariados very quickly from battle. With limited typing coverage, my night shifters are more than accustomed to handling these challenges straight on. However, Forretress could explode before I put it to sleep. Fortunately, after a few attempts, Wise manages to set up Shade to bypass this steel bug's defenses. That's right, Shade made the final cut for my attempt at the Hall of Fame here in Johto, and it's all because of the move Curse. And if all goes well, Curse, with its neutral and consistent damage output, will remain useful in the upcoming battles ahead, so long as I can recover Shade's HP and conserve my max potions and full restores. It's just a matter of working my way through Koga's lineup. But despite having certain advantages, Koga's Crobat is incredibly fast and very capable of sending some of my team members to the break room, if you know what I mean. Not only that, I know Koga has some battle items at his disposal, and I need to ensure his Crobat takes a nap in order to land Dream Eater, exploiting his weakness to Psychic, as if landing Hypnosis won't be tricky enough. I've only got 4 revives on hand, and Dreamcatcher is gonna need one of those now. And finally, Wise manages to put this Crobat to sleep. I think I'm in the clear now, but another close call leaves me no choice but to burn up a max potion. Koga's Crobat has the upper hand in terms of speed stat, no matter what Pokemon I throw in right now. So if Hypnosis doesn't land, I could be in a big spot of trouble tonight. And I'm forced to use yet another max potion in order to shield the rest of my team from any unnecessary harm. And finally, my luck starts turning around. After withstanding a few wing attacks, Shade finally manages to entrance this Crobat and steal its much needed HP back for the 3 remaining challenges ahead. Specifically for the reason that I know I'll need the move Curse going forward. Just like that, Koga loses out and it's off to Bruno's chamber. Now I gotta say, this was the Elite Four team member that I was the least worried about. But no, that doesn't necessarily mean that I can be reckless here, as Bruno's lineup knows a wide variety of moves to counter my team. I'll still favor using Hypnosis in this battle in case I cannot one-hit his fighting Pokemon. Noctowl doesn't learn the move Dream Eater until level 57, so until then, I'm working with the lesser option, which is Confusion. But Confusion is good enough in this instance, and Wise will remain benched for the remainder of this battle at the very least, to avoid being hit by a Rock Slide down the line. So while my Staryu Gem can handle the Rock types on this lineup, that does mean that my Ghosts will be exposed to potential damage, and once again, I'm at the whim of RNG, needing Hypnosis to hit. It's very me to forget all of the X-accuracies I bought in Goldenrod City a while back. Although I'm getting lucky now, I have a bad feeling about how far that luck can be stretched. Now, Bruno wasn't able to KO any of my Nocturnal team members in the end, but how will they fare against Karen, a trainer with a similar approach to team building? Strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon, that is the perception of selfish trainers. And I could not agree more. As always, Karen's Umbreon leads the charge, but Hypnosis and Dream Eater will not work in tandem against this Dark-type lineup. That means Shade must once again sacrifice its HP in order to lay the groundworks for success. Asleep and cursed, it's time to show Karen my very own Umbreon. Mainly because if hers wakes up, my Ghastly and Haunter would be vulnerable to Feint Attack, and that could end badly for me. Not only that, I need Wise in tip-top shape for her next Pokemon, Vileplume. Of course, having the move Fly in our repertoire is very useful versus this Grass-type Pokemon, but its base HP is just enough to withstand one super effective hit. It then manages to paralyze Wise, putting us in a compromising position as it heals itself with its signature move, Moonlight. After failing to land Hypnosis for a few turns, Wise finally manages to do so and downs a paralyzed Cure Berry in order to turn the tides of battle. But this Night Owl is not done just yet. I need Wise to stick around here in battle to disarm this Gengar, in hopes of taking it down with one Dream Eater. Not only that, Shade will need that HP back if we're going to lay any more curses. Fortunately, the Ghastly line is somewhat of a glass cannon in my opinion, as its special attack makes up for its all-around pretty low defenses. While crossing my fingers in hopes of landing a Thunder before this Murkrow wakes up, I also realize I'll have to add one of these to my night decks as well. I can't believe I forgot about it. Murkrow faints, and Karen has no other option but her Houndoom. And both of these Pokemon are stark reminders as to how close I am to accessing Kanto, the Silver Insomniacs exclusive to that region, and the evolutionary stones I'll need to complete my very own night decks. All of the late night grinds in Johto have been paying off, but the fight with Lance will be a truer challenge of skill in comparison to the trainers we've encountered so far. With his ties to Claire, let's hope he's not out for revenge. Either way, this battle intensifies quickly. If my opponents stay snoozing during this battle, I can attempt to recover some HP with Dream Eater, but the fact is, the timing has got to be right. Gyarados is an extremely dangerous foe, don't get me wrong, but it is susceptible to Thunder, so long as it hits. I'm more concerned with the 3 Dragonites that Lance has in tow. With moves like Thunder, Outrage, and Hyper Beam, none of my Nocturnal Pokemon are safe, and I only managed to save my few restoratives thanks to the move Dream Eater, which coincidentally is not super effective against this trio of Dragonites. Therefore, I'm taking a huge gamble here and land Hypnosis. This is my chance to recover some HP before things go left. Once Lance's first Dragonite is subdued, his second is quick to follow thanks to Shade's ability to balance its life force and turn the tides of battle. But my Nocturnal team and I are not out of the woods just yet. If his Dragonites wake up at any moment, it could mean certain doom for Shade, and I still have to contend with his Aerodactyl and Charizard, but I'm not quite sure in what order just yet. Now, last episode, I expressed my concerns about using first stage Pokemon to challenge the league champ, but I had no choice without being able to get my hands on evolutionary stones until I find Bill's grandpa in Kanto. However, we trained hard before reaching the Indigo Plateau, and we're so close I can almost taste victory, but unfortunately, Gem is not quite small enough to dodge a Hyper Beam, and things start going awry. My team members start falling left and right as Lance's level 50 Dragonite begins ripping through my lineup. But I can't let this be lights out for my team. I've got to pull all stops to slow this Dragonite down just long enough for me to restore some of my fainted team members. But which ones? Eclipse and its high defenses can stall Dragonite just long enough for me to revive 2 team members. The most critical in this situation, Shade and Gem. With Shade returned to the mortal coil this fateful night, I think we stand a fighting chance. And it goes without saying that if we make it through this, I think we all deserve a night off. And before I know it, Lance makes his final stand with his Charizard, and this is precisely why I chose to revive Gem, who rightfully earns our Nocturnal exclusive team a spot in the Johto Hall of Fame. But this journey isn't over just yet. I'm looking forward to setting sail to Kanto to collect 8 more badges and ascend Mount Silver, all in the hopes of completing my night decks and challenging Trainer Red. I'd also really like to thank you for watching and spending time with me, whether it's day or night, wherever you are. And I'm also interested in what you have to say about the Johto After Dark miniseries so far. Be sure to subscribe, especially if you don't want to miss the next installment of Johto After Dark. And if you're looking for more long-form videos, check out my playlists on the channel page. As for me, I've got a ship to catch. I Want Your Burger. Thanks so much once again. Hope you have a lovely night.